Good morning. It's Wednesday. Hump day. Mike. So, whether we believe we think we can or we can't, we're right. Beliefs are what drive us. Limiting beliefs about what we can and can't accomplish make it a reality for us. Do you remember when I did the finger thing where we all turned and then we created new beliefs about how far we could turn with our finger, and it created a whole new reality in terms of what we could do physically? So what do we do with these limiting beliefs, and how do we create beliefs about what we can accomplish? Well, we've talked a lot last week about how to create new beliefs. Incantations, what you upload into your head. Grant Cardone's 10X book is great with this. It's the Richard Bronson model, which, again, all of this comes out of Think and Grow Rich. The idea of that being that, if you want to make $100,000, make your goal $1 million, because while you might not hit the $1 million, you'll set up a different plan than to accomplish the $100,000, and it'll create a different expectation and a different belief. And incantations every morning, continue to drive that. It's like getting that merry-go-round at the playground fired up. At the beginning, it's really hard, but as you keep going, then it gets easier. So what do we do with our limiting beliefs? Well, the limiting beliefs are the little voices in our head that say, no, you can't, or you're too old, or you're too young, or you don't have enough education, or I don't have enough money. A great way to deal with those is to continue to get story after story of people who have, through all of the odds and with everything against them, still been able to accomplish great results. But there's other things that you can do too. There's great little neurolinguistic programming things that you can do. So like one of the things that you can do is when those voices or feelings or, remember, it depends on whether you're audio, visual, or kinesthetic as to how this pops up. So when I say a voice, for me, it's audio, but it could be a feeling or it could be a picture or a combination of those. It doesn't matter. When one of those pops up, so one of the things to do is to change it and to make it something that doesn't impact you. So what do I mean? Make the voice like a Mickey Mouse voice. Name it something that is belittling. So when you get that feeling, or you get that voice in your head that's a limiting belief, name it a name, call it a name or name it something that makes it less significant for you. Call it a insignificant belief, or call it a tiny belief, or call it a belief that doesn't matter. Make its voice a Mickey Mouse voice. Put a picture on it of something that makes you laugh or that you wouldn't take seriously. Make it look like some little tiny thing that you would laugh at and you wouldn't make funny. You wouldn't at all look at as something that was actually important. Another thing that you can do, what happens with this, by the way, is then your brain stops taking that voice seriously and starts looking at it as something that's not important or as funny or as lesser than or doesn't matter. And then that belief will gradually, and sometimes even quickly, no longer become effective. And it won't impact you any longer because you've now changed your relationship to it. Remember, with any event, nothing has a meaning except the meaning that we give it. And we can do that with the way that we talk to ourselves. We can change the meaning. We can take the good stuff and put it in front of us and make it bright and focused and in color and right in front of us, and then we can step into it. So that's what you do with your goals. Look into it, look around. What do you feel? What do you think? How would you feel? How would others feel once you accomplish this goal? And take the limiting beliefs and make them tiny and behind you and dim and dark and defocused, and make them some little tiny creature that sounds really weird that you would just laugh at, that has no power or authority and is actually just like a little joke. And those little things actually become big things because your brain doesn't know the difference between what you experience and what you vividly imagine. And here's another little one that I like. Let's say you've got a reoccurring belief that just pops up all the time, or maybe it's for you, it seems like it's a habit, or it seems like it's a condition that you go back to. Maybe you overeat on Saturdays, maybe you overdrink on Fridays, whatever that is. The habit is actually a belief. You have a belief that you have to go do that, or that you can't stop yourself from doing that. Okay? All of those are kind of wrapped into the same thing. And you can change your relationship to those at any time. So a cool little NLP thing to do is to take that belief or event or habit or feeling or voice or whatever it is, put it in your hand and turn it into a creature. What does it look like? Ask yourself, okay, what does this voice or feeling or habit look like, and what does it sound like? And put it in your hand as though it's about 8 inches tall, and then talk to it. Ask it what its name is, give it a name, give it a voice, give it a face, give it a color. What's it wearing? How does it feel? And then ask it, what's the lesson that you're supposed to learn that you haven't yet learned? What is the lesson that this belief or this habit or this feeling, the lesson that's going to benefit you, because every one of these things is supposed to teach us something. It's supposed to make us stronger. So what's the lesson that you haven't yet learned from this particular belief or habit or feeling? And then let it answer and give you that lesson. And then say thank you. Tell it thank you for everything that it's done. Thank you for where it's brought you in your life. Thank you for the lesson, but you don't need it anymore. And you've got the lesson, and now you're ready to set it free. And then say goodbye and tip your hat, or however this little creature, whatever it is that you created, says goodbye, and then watch it fly away. And watch it fly away into the sunset, and you're going to turn your back so that it's behind you, but you can still see it flying away into the sun until it goes poof. And now all that's left in your body is the lesson from that particular belief or that habit or that voice inside your head that says you're not good enough or you've never been able to do it in the past or whatever. Now all that's left is the lesson that you were given from that. And when that voice comes back, if it does, it's just echoes from this thing that is gone. So each time it does, you can just say that's just an echo, and every time you're going to go away and be less and less and less, just like echoes do. The first time you hear them, sometimes they're kind of loud. Next time they're less, next time they're less, next time they're less. Run that through your head a couple of times. Vividly do the process that I just did. And if it pops back up, don't get upset. It just means that you get an opportunity to learn the lesson again and make sure that you have it and do the process again. These little neurolinguistic programming ideas are amazingly effective in terms of getting rid of these beliefs. 5-10 minutes on this. Remember, we want to spend 5% of our time on the problem and 95% of our time on the solution. So if you find that these little things are popping up, spend 5 minutes to do this process. Then take yourself through a process of where are you going. Look at your goals and put them right in front of you. And then what is it going to be like once you accomplish them? Do a perfect day. What is my perfect day like once I've accomplished my goals? When do I get up? Who do I spend time with? What do I do? Who am I interacting with? How do I feel? How are the people around me? How proud am I about what I've done and created in their world. How much am I a role model for my kids? Spend a half an hour or better visualizing what life is going to be like when you accomplish the next set of goals that you've set out to accomplish. And before you know it, and you might have to do this more than once, and that's okay. Some of these things have been around a long time. And before you know it, those little voices, those little habits, those little conditions, whatever they are going to be gone. And what will happen is now what you'll see is the future, and you'll no longer be stuck with those past ideas. Great little tips, great little ways in order to take ourselves all to the next level. Thank you very much, everybody, for the checkup to the neck up. I'm so happy you guys are all doing so great. We're almost into October. It certainly feels like fall here. Tammy, good morning. Jim, good morning. Always great to see you. Miranda, Dolores, Mr. Lampy, great to see you. I hope everybody has an amazing day. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.